Hello everyone and welcome back. This is SoupaSoka, and if you don't know me, I actually really enjoy playing World of Warcraft. I'm specifically been playing a lot on the Nostalrius private server, and Nostalrius is a PvP server. So, it's person versus person. That means if you're out in the world, you can actually attack one another. Recently though, the Nostalrius team has released a new server, the Nostalrius PVE server, which is person versus environment. So basically, when you're out and about, you're really never going to engage with another player unless you choose to do so. So you can't get ganked, you can't get attacked when you don't want to be, you can AFK without, fearing for your life from a person coming by. And so what you're seeing on the screen right now is actually that PvE server. And I'm just running around, I'm actually commentating over this after the fact. So right now my character is running around, he's very low level, only level 4, 5, 6, right in that range. And all I'm really doing is just kind of giving you a little preview about what's going on the server and my first impressions. This is not a full review because I haven't played it enough to have a fair review. I don't know how the endgame content is in this server. I don't know a lot of other things, but it should be similar to the PvP server. It should be identical, actually, except for the fact that you're PvE instead of PvP, but I'm not comfortable giving a full review just yet. So, to start off, as I mentioned, I've played on the PvP server a lot. I'm level 60 on there. I've got an alt character, a warlock that I'm leveling up, and if you want to see more about that, you can look at my other videos. But for the PvE server, it came out in about mid to late October 2015, and the first night is when I got on there. It's what I'm playing right now. You can see my character. That is my little mage there. He's got no facial hair, no hair on his head. Kind of weird looking, but whatever. So I'm playing this character on opening night, and the first thing I can say is that it was super packed opening night. You can see as I'm running around, there's tons of other Alliance characters nearby. We're competing for mobs, it's hard to get anything. And this actually leveled out a little bit more later on, but the opening night was crazy and way too packed, truthfully. It was not as fun as it should have been, but that's no one's fault. Everyone was just really excited to get on a PvE private server, I think. So things have gotten better since then. A little bit I've been on, I've noticed it's been a little more evened out. Some people have leveled up. There's already quite a few level 60s on the server. So now there's a wide range of levels, so the overcrowding issue isn't really there anymore. It's a little there, but not as bad as it was opening night for sure. And then also opening night, maybe the first day or two even, I heard there were some issues at some of the higher zones where are contested zones. You normally, in PvP servers, would be flagged as PvP, but this is a PvE server. As it turned out, you were still getting flagged for PvP for some reason. They have fixed that issue. So if you heard about that problem, it's all gone now. Everything's working as it should for a PvE server. There's no major bugs or glitches that I've experienced in the first few levels I was playing. Like I said, just the first few levels, so I can't say endgame or later on. But it seems pretty good. And as far as I can tell, this server, the PvE Nostalrius server, is pretty much identical to the PvP Nostalrius server. Things play well. The quests work well, spells cast fine, there's not a lot of lag. I didn't experience any crashes even though there were thousands of people online at this time. If you've been playing on the Nostalrius PvP server but you really want a PvE experience, then I think this is a good server for you. I think you'll enjoy it. I don't think you need to worry about it. It should be just fine. I guess I don't have a lot else to say about it, truthfully. It just plays well. And it's exactly what I kind of expected from them. The PvP Nostalrius server, not perfect, but it's a very good private server. And I feel the same way so far about the PvE Nostalrius server. Not quite perfect. I think there's still some things that they need to work on. Scripting isn't perfect. Pathing isn't 100% perfect. But it's pretty good. And it's good enough that I haven't noticed any real issues, at least in the short amount of time I was playing on the PvE server. Besides that, now that a little bit of time has passed, it's been maybe almost 2 weeks, I think, about 2 weeks since the PvE server has launched. And in that time, I was looking at the Horde to Alliance ratios, and in general, it seems like there's actually a little bit of an imbalance on the populations right now. On the Nostalrius PvP server, in the past, in general, it's pretty well split, about 50-50, Horde versus Alliance. On the PvE server, it's actually pretty tilted, I think, in one direction. The Alliance have about 60% of the population, the Horde have about 40%. And that's a pretty substantial difference. 60-40 might not sound like a lot, but that's pretty significant. Thankfully, it's a PvE server, so I think that's not as bad because you're not gonna go into areas like Teneris, where it's kind of a common area where both sides will be leveling, or especially Stranglethorn Vale. Even if there's a lot more alliance, since you're PvE, you're not going to get ganked like mercilessly if you're on the Horde side. So I would personally, I encourage people to join the Horde side since they're outnumbered right now. But I don't think you're going to go wrong either way. The only real problem you might have, if you join the Alliance, since it's a 60-40 ratio, if you try to get into some battlegrounds later on when you're closer to level 50, 60, or even leveling up and you want to get into Warsong Gulch or Arathi Basin, you might have to wait longer since there's just not as many Horde players. I don't know, that might level out over time, but I would encourage you to join the Horde side. Personally, I think it's a better choice. If I continue playing in the server, I will probably stick with my Alliance character just because I very rarely play Alliance. I'd like to see how it is. But for the most part, I really enjoy PvP, World PvP especially. I'm terrible at it, but I enjoy it. So I'm going to stick to the Nostalrius PvP server. But the PvE server definitely seems like, on my first impressions, it seems very good, very consistent with the Nostalrius PvP server quality. So if you really don't want to deal with getting ganked, you don't want to deal with the mess that is Stranglethorn Vale when you're leveling up, then feel free to join the Nostalrius PvE server. I think it's a good time. And I'll let you know if I hear any other major news related to it or any other major issues, but for now, it gets my, 2 thumbs up approval. One other small thing is many people were worried when the PvE Nostalrius server opened up that it would eat up a ton of the population out of the Nostalrius PvP server. And truthfully, I can't say, scientifically, I haven't really been keeping track of the population closely, but to my best knowledge and what I've experienced just from playing on the PvP server, it's been okay. It certainly has gone down a little bit, but I would say very few players have really left the PvP server for the PvE server. I think for the most part, the PvE server, has attracted new players onto the server. So that's all I really have to say for now. This is just kind of an initial first impressions, kind of my first thoughts, sort of a preview of what I feel the PvE Nostalrius server is going to bring for people. If you have any questions more specific, more in detail that you'd like me to answer, just post a comment below. I'm happy to do my best to help you. But otherwise, that's it for now. This video runs on for another 15 minutes or so. I'm just going to let it go so you can kind of watch some of the gameplay if you want to see how things look in the starting area, at least for the gnomes and dwarves. And I mean, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it definitely was overcrowded this night, so keep in mind that what you're seeing right now is probably not exactly what you're going to experience when you go onto the PvE server now. This has been a few weeks ago, so things have gotten a little smoother since then. People have leveled up a bit more, but that's everything for now. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.
Keep your feet on the ground! Save the battle. How are you? Be good.
Honored, I'm sure. All right, then.
I have the finest wires in the land.